Hello, I'm Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be talking about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers collab, which will be coming to North America. So, on the official Gung Ho North American stream last night, they announced that the Power Rangers collab will be coming. With that being said, there is no information leaked outside of a non-informational video that just features the Red Ranger. Nothing else is shown. We don't know what their stats are, what they can do, and this obviously opens up the possibility of something being amazing or something like Voltron. So Voltron was the very first North American exclusive collab to ever occur, and it was basically just a reskin or a copy with different characters of a Japanese collab that was outdated and weak, and they also omitted the better cards. So obviously it was a flop. People were unhappy. It was hyped up to be exciting. The artwork, at least in my opinion, was lackluster. I just didn't jive with it. But the fact of the matter that it was basically outdated as soon as it was released and it never came back again means that it obviously was not successful. As such, hopefully they've learned from their mistakes and make the Power Rangers collab truly meaningful. And in all honesty, I want them to succeed because it has great implications moving forward. So this video / article is basically just a way for me to summarize my hopes and thoughts for what this collab can be. Because remember, there's no information teased at this point in time. It's all speculation. With that being said, I want you to voice what you think is going to happen. What are hopefully going to be like the key cards, what do you think they could do, so on and so forth, in the comments down below. So, as mentioned beforehand, I want this collab to succeed because it is a strong indication that Gung Ho North America is trying to push out new content. Because obviously with any collaboration, there is money involved, and it's a gamble, so to speak. So Gung Ho North America is taking what is hopefully an educated gamble, and they will make the event meaningful enough for players to roll, and thus hopefully continue a trend of more North American exclusive content. Because the thing is, we are 2 to 3 months behind Japan, and the thing with that is it's nice because we can kind of predict our stone usage moving forward, but at the same time, a lot of the hype and excitement dies down. By the time it comes to North America, something newer and flashier has just been released in Japan, and we might get into this continuous loop or cycle of just like, oh, we want this, comes, something better has come out, maybe I should save again once more, and it just doesn't feel as magical. So either they could reskin a good collab, hopefully something that's either new or recent, so it actually has relevance, and that would be nice. Again, we don't know what it could be. If you have any predictions as to which would be your preferred collab to get a copy skin of, let me know in the comments down below. But on the other hand, at least from my opinion, if it was a brand new unique collab, that would be actually quite exciting. So by unique, I mean by that all the cards in the collab are not at least copies of other existing cards. So for example, let's say like we have Amatsu as a card from Monster Hunter. A copy of Amatsu would just be something in probably the same color, similar stats, but a different name for a different franchise. That's what I mean by like a reskin. But if we got something unique, like it has a unique distribution of awakenings, active skill, leader skill, it can be quite exciting because it could open up new possibilities that we don't have, no one has otherwise. Furthermore, it means we don't have to always copy directly previously solidified strategies for team building and compositions, because now Japan doesn't have access to those cards, so we have possibly a way to fill in new niches that we couldn't have done so beforehand. So that would be quite exciting if it was a unique collab, but again, it may not necessarily be the case. But if it is, these are some points that I feel that would make any unique collab much more meaningful and impactful moving forward. And firstly, you need to have regular reruns. The Voltron collab came once, it was basically outdated, never came again. Those outdated cards are going to continue to collect dust and just do nothing overall. So we need to have collabs return on a regular basis. For example, like Gung Ho collab or all the seasonal events, because they're tied to certain dates of the year, come back on a regular basis. That means at least the higher rarity cards should be usually buffed and or improved on a regular basis, or just new cards keep coming out, so it keeps the event a bit more fresh and at least more incentive to keep rolling. If Power Rangers collab comes one time and it wasn't necessarily on the cutting edge, it would fall out of favor much more quickly. In addition to that, the most powerful mechanic at this point in time, in my opinion, is follow-up damage via leader skills. So basically the idea is you perform your leader skills activation requirements, and then they do a fixed amount of follow-up damage afterwards. This follow-up damage ignores defense, so it guarantees to kill a resolve spawn. And while resolve is not necessarily the most dangerous mechanic in the game at this point in time, right now, to make bosses challenging, they basically throw together many numerous mechanics all at once, and they just kind of compound on each other. So, for instance, if they have resolve and avoid mechanic, it becomes a little more tricky. You have to make a 3x3 box of colors and either a 3x3 box of hearts or a column of hearts. If combo counts required, it becomes a little more clumsy, so on and so forth. So by being able to ignore one of these mechanics, it makes team building and clearing content significantly easier. You no longer have to rely on hard orbs, which means your board and orb changers can be more diverse. You could use things that you normally would not have been able to beforehand because you can kill anything and ignore those mechanics. So if one of the top rarity cards in the Power Rangers Collab had this mechanic built in, it would make the event significantly more appetizing because now we could acquire what should be a very powerful leader, ideally in a color that's not dark because that we already have Ina, and it can open up new team building compositions and allow players to utilize cards you never could have beforehand. On that note, let's say the Red Ranger, which was featured in that teaser video, was the card with the follow-up damage. Like, yes, there is a red follow-up card through Fist of the North Star, but that might take some time. We may not necessarily get it back, who knows. But let's say the Red Ranger had the built-up follow-up damage. He becomes a top-tier red leader. Red is a color that's been lacking things at this point in time, so again, it can open up lots of things and make people excited once again. Either way, this is by far the strongest mechanic, and if one of those cards had that ability, it would make the event much more exciting. Furthermore, on the flip side, you want to have value at the lowest rarity. Because with any gacha game, the highlighted featured cards are the hardest to acquire. It's just the way it is. And as such, you're going to be filled with lots of the lowest rarity cards. And if those have some or lots of value, it makes the event much stronger as a whole. For example, the current Monster Hunter collab that's occurring at this point in time has incredibly strong weapon assists at the 5 or lowest rarity tier. And those things have potentially 60% resist against jammer, poison, and blinds, which becomes invaluable when pushing through challenging content because you can basically ignore those mechanics. You no longer have to worry about poison orbs appearing, so a lot of those spawns that rely on poison orb mechanics become significantly weaker. And the same thing can apply. If the lowest rarity cards in the Power Rangers collab have useful weapon assists, it makes them much more exciting. Furthermore, if the weapon assists are on at least the top rarity cards and they have a useful base form, it makes duplicates more exciting to roll as well. So you won't be as sad rolling the same high rarity card twice, because if they have a viable base or / evolve form and a viable weapon assist, it's now a good card to have multiples of. Think of the Final Fantasy collab and how you actually wanted to get most likely 2 of each of the 6-star cards. Like, they just have multiple valuable forms, and it's another way to increase overall value and lower the sadness chance of duplicates. And then finally, this is, at least in my opinion, just a way to add extra fluff to a good event, is give pluses with each roll. It could have, each roll has like say 297 pluses, obviously on the very generous side. So that means if you roll the 7th of a certain 5-star card, you can sell it for many pluses and you don't feel as bad necessarily. Conversely, they could give players pluses via in-game mail after each roll. It doesn't have to be as high, but it means players who roll a little bit will at least get some collateral benefits, and it might just encourage at least some rolling. The whole idea is we want more people to roll in a North American exclusive event to make it so they see that there is support and they will continue to do so moving forward. Of course, you should not inflate the Magic Stone price tag when you give these free pluses. Again, it should be just fluff on what is already an ideal event. So, in conclusion, the Power Rangers collab has potential to be incredibly exciting, and hopefully Gung-Ho does not follow the Voltron path. With that being said, it does show that the game is doing well if Gung-Ho is willing to invest money back into it for hopefully a higher return in the future. So, if this event is strong, it's a good thing to at least support in that sense. I don't work for Gung-Ho. I don't receive any benefits whatsoever. These are just my own personal opinions. But with that being said, let me know what you think about this event in the comments below. What are things that you hope to see featured? What types of mechanics or abilities you hope the cards have? And just your general thoughts on North America having their second exclusive event. Hopefully you all have a Mantastic day. I wish you all the best luck in your own pad adventures. And happy puzzling.